In the heart of Andalusia, Spain, a young shepherd named Santiago lived a simple life tending his flock. He loved his sheep, the open fields, and the sound of the wind rustling through the olive trees. Yet beneath his calm smile lay a restless heart, a longing for something more. Each night, Santiago dreamed of a hidden treasure buried near the Egyptian pyramids. The dream came again and again, so vivid it felt like a message. Unsure of its meaning, he decided to visit a gypsy fortune-teller in the nearby town. The old woman listened, then looked deep into his eyes. "Go to Egypt," she said. "There you will find your treasure." Santiago laughed at the absurdity, a shepherd chasing dreams across the desert. But that same day, as he sat reading a book in the town square, he met a mysterious old man with a long cloak and eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. "I am Melchizedek, the king of Salem," the man said. "When you truly desire something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it." The old king told him about personal legends, every person's true purpose in life, and gave him 2 magical stones, Urim and Thummim, to guide him in reading the omens of the world. Santiago felt the pull of destiny. He sold his flock, took his savings, and boarded a ship bound for Africa, leaving behind the only life he had ever known. When Santiago arrived in Tangier, the streets were full of strange languages, dazzling colors, and the smell of spice and sea. He had barely begun his journey when a thief tricked him and stole all his money. Heartbroken and alone, he sat outside a market, realizing he had nothing left, no flock, no friends, no plan. He could return home and forget this foolish dream, or he could go on. Santiago chose to stay. "If I can learn to care for sheep," he thought, "I can learn to survive here." He found work at a crystal shop on a hill. The merchant was kind but weary, his dream of traveling to Mecca long abandoned. Santiago's arrival brought new life to the shop. He cleaned dusty shelves, rearranged displays, and soon suggested new ideas, serving tea in crystal glasses to attract customers. Business flourished. Within months, the merchant became rich, and Santiago earned enough to return home. But something inside him had changed. The desert still called to him, whispering promises of treasure and purpose. Before leaving, the merchant said softly, "You have shown me that it is never too late to dream. But I will not go to Mecca, and you must not give up your pyramid." Santiago smiled and continued east till he joined a caravan crossing the Sahara Desert, hundreds of camels carrying goods and travelers under the blazing sun. The days were endless waves of sand, the nights were filled with stars that seemed close enough to touch. Among the travelers was a strange Englishman, always reading books about alchemy, the ancient science of turning metal into gold. The man spoke of a mysterious figure known as the Alchemist, who lived in the oasis of Al-Fayum and had discovered the secret of life, the master work, the elixir of life, and the philosopher's stone. Santiago listened with fascination. The Englishman studied symbols, Santiago studied the wind, the sky, and the language of the world. He began to notice signs, omens that guided him like invisible hands. The caravan master often said, "To know the desert, you must listen to it." And Santiago did. He realized that the desert, the wind, and his own heart all spoke the same silent language. After many weeks, the caravan reached the oasis, a place of water, palm trees, and life amid the endless sands. It was here that Santiago saw Fatima, a beautiful desert woman drawing water from a well. Their eyes met, and in that instant, Santiago knew he had found his soul's mirror. They met each day at the well, speaking of love and dreams. Santiago wanted to stay forever, but Fatima told him, "Go and find your treasure. True love never keeps a man from his destiny." One night, while watching the desert, Santiago saw a vision, an omen of an army attacking the oasis. He told the tribal chiefs, who at first doubted him, but his warning proved true. The oasis was saved, and Santiago's courage earned the respect of all. That was when he met the alchemist, the man of legend, cloaked in white, eyes shining with calm power. The alchemist told Santiago that he had already found part of his treasure, wisdom. But to complete his journey, he must continue across the desert to the pyramids. As they rode their horses beneath a sea of stars, the alchemist taught him the final lesson. Listen to your heart. It knows all things, because it came from the soul of the world. Santiago learned that everything in existence, people, animals, wind, and sand, were connected by one spiritual truth. When a person follows their true calling, they become one with the universe. One night, soldiers captured them, thinking they were spies. The alchemist handed over all the gold he carried and told the soldiers, "This boy can turn himself into the wind." Santiago panicked, but the alchemist whispered, "If you can understand the desert, the wind, and the hand that wrote all things, you can do it." Santiago prayed and listened, to the wind, to the desert, and to the sun, and finally to his own heart. He realized that everything was one. As he raised his arms, the wind lifted, swirling into a storm that astonished the soldiers. Santiago had become part of the world's soul. After the soldiers released them, the alchemist turned lead into gold and gave Santiago a portion. "You've learned the secret," he said. "Go and finish your journey." When Santiago finally reached the Egyptian pyramids, he fell to his knees and wept with joy. He had traveled so far, through fear and faith, love and loss. As he dug in the sand, dreaming of gold, thieves appeared, beat him, and stole his money. "What are you digging for?" one laughed. "A treasure," Santiago said. "Fool," the man sneered. "I once dreamed of treasure buried under a tree in Spain, but I'm not stupid enough to cross a desert for a dream." When they left, Santiago lay in the sand, bruised but smiling. He suddenly understood. The dream had come full circle. The treasure was never in Egypt, it was back in Spain, beneath the very sycamore tree where he had first dreamed it. Months later, Santiago returned to the old church where his journey had begun. He dug beneath the roots of the sycamore tree, and there, wrapped in an old cloth, lay a chest filled with gold coins, jewels, and ancient relics. He laughed and cried at once. The treasure had always been within his reach, yet he had needed to travel the world to discover its true meaning. At that moment, a soft wind brushed his face, carrying the scent of the desert and the voice of Fatima whispering, "I am waiting for you." Santiago looked to the horizon and smiled. He knew he would return to the oasis, not for gold, but for love. His heart was now the real treasure. The Alchemist is not just a story about a boy and gold, it is about the journey of the soul. It teaches that every person has a personal legend, a destiny only they can fulfill. The universe helps those who follow their dreams. True treasure lies not in riches, but in understanding oneself. Love never keeps us from our path, it guides us toward it. And in the end, we find that the journey itself was the treasure all along. Santiago's adventure is the story of every human heart, the dream we all carry to discover our purpose, our love, and our connection to the world. As the alchemist said, "Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure."